Ladies and gentlemen, I've annoyed you enough and you've heard my voice long enough because I'm not the one you came to see. Or is it? I don't know. Oh, good. You're here. We thought you were invisible. We were told you weren't coming. You ready? Ladies and gentlemen, he needs no introduction. The icon, the legend, Ken Foree.
Hello. How's everybody? Whoa! I love it. How's everybody doing? Good. You having a good time? I'm having a great time as well.
They're ready for you.
They're ready for me,
sure.
huh? Oh, gee. I hate sitting at these things. Okay.
Why?
This is for a group of people. I'm sitting. Okay,
Ignore
guys.
the rest of the table. It's
okay.
fine.
All right. I don't need a microphone because I have such a big, booming, annoying voice. So I'm going to go ahead and talk to you and relax. I like to make sure these things are friendly, fun, and all the rules are out the door, okay?
100%.
All right, so what would you like to do? Tell me.
I would like to do anything you would like to do. I know a lot of these people are here specifically. They'd like to hear Dawn of the Dead stories, so we'd like to start with that if that's at all possible.
Sure, if I can remember any of them.
All right.
It was 40 years ago. 40 years ago.
Doesn't look like it's more than a couple of months for
Okay,
you, sir.
please, God. You see that body? Did you see that body in Dawn of the Dead? That was 215 pounds. That was high school weight.
I feel slightly uncomfortable talking about your body.
Triple that down. Triple that. That's the only thing I remember about Dawn of the Dead. Every time I see it, I say, oh, God. Anyway, so what would you like to know? Anybody got a question? Anybody got something? I'm going to try to answer it.
GNR here in the second row.
Okay, hopefully I won't take anyone else's question, but
yes.
First of all, love you, Keenan and Cal.
Thank you very much.
Second of all,
Keenan and Cal, folks. Keenan and Cal. Who's in their 30s? Anybody in their 30s? You remember it? Yes, go ahead.
Whether it was on the big screen or the small screen, what is the greatest memory you have on set?
Oh, God. There's always something on each set, but the fun time, the time I can't tell you about, because we don't have time. This is a 2-hour conversation about this film and this set and what it is. My first film. It's called Bingo Long, Traveling All-Stars and Motor Kings. And it's with Billy D. Williams, James Earl Jones, Richard Pryor, Tony Burton, Stan Shaw. You could just name them, and it's a great story, but it takes forever, and I can't tell you now because it just we don't have enough time. It's just as simple as that. But it was a great time. I had. Let's just put it this way. We shot. John Badham. You know John Badham? Dracula. What else did he do? Saturday Night with John Travolta. And with, my God, not fail safe. What is that when the computers went crazy and started playing? War games. War games. Matthew Broderick, that's what I was trying to get to. And many others. Rob Cohen was the producer. John Badham directed. Rob Cohen was the producer. Rob Cohen, anybody know who he is? Yeah. Fast and Furious, right? Am I right? Huh? But that too. Doesn't he do Fast and Furious? Is that the one he does? Yeah. So Rob Cohen was the producer, and it was a great time. It was absolute. I had, oh God, it was something. I was in Macon, Georgia, it was the first location, and we spent about a month in Macon. I worked about 2 days. I spent the rest of my time by the pool, drinking mint juleps. That's all I tell you right now. It's great. It was fantastic. I wish I could tell you this story because it was something phenomenal. If you had to.
What year was that?
I don't know. 76, something like that. Yeah. So, before 76, 75, I think, 74, right in that.
Okay,
cusp.
maybe it was.
I'll tell you why.
All right.
I know. Wait a minute. See, the story started. You said 76, and I remembered something else. Let's see. What about that? What happened in that? It was just a great location, great times. What can I tell you about it? Oh, let me go to the other story because you took me off of it now, and let me go. So anyway, I'm in New York. This is after Bingo Long, Traveling All-Stars of Motor Kings. I'm in New York, I get a call. They said, Ken Foree, we'd like to see you. And I said, who would like to? We're at the United Artists Building, and such a suite, and we'd like to see you. We have a film that we thought you might be right for. So I said, United Artists Building, this is in New York. This is about Broadway and 56th Street. No, 50, yeah, no, I'm sorry. Broadway and about 47th Street, all right? United Artists Building, no longer there, I don't think. Anyway, so I go down, and I go up and they say, listen, my name's Christopher Mankiewicz. His father was the Mankiewicz that has all the Oscars.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay, Joseph Mankiewicz, okay. And he said, and I'm the woman was my Anna Navarro, and we're from LA, Hollywood, and we have a production. And so they started to tell me about this production, and it was called Christmas Addicts. I'm going to tie this in for you. This is a great story. So Christmas Addicts, I'm going to tie all of it in. This is great because it goes into Bingo Long. Well, this is wonderful. I'll put this together. So he said that Christmas Addicts was a mulatto, so he's half black, half white, something like this, white blood. So he was a slave, and he's the first man killed in the American Revolutionary War. They say that the American Revolutionary's first casualty was at the Boston Tea Party or a dispute before the Tea Party, and he was shot. And he was the first man killed in the American Revolutionary War. So a lot of high schools are named after him, that kind of thing. It's just, it's prominent. You know. So
We should know.
you should know, but don't. So I'm gonna tie this up. So I said, yeah, okay. So I know the addict story, something about it. And they said, well, we talked for a while, and they said, listen, we want you to, we'd like to get something, we'd like to see you do something. We have you and Dick Anthony Williams, who was another actor on the West Coast and fine stage actor as well. You did see The Jerk with Steve Martin?
Yeah.
You remember the black family that he came from? You remember the tall, light-skinned black guy?
tall guy.
Yeah, that's Dick Anthony Williams. Right?
Gotcha.
So I'm tying all this together for you guys. So they had Dick Anthony Williams on the West Coast and me on the East Coast. They were looking at. I said, okay. They said, we'd like to see that. Well, I'm doing tomorrow in my acting class. I had an acting class I was going to on the 15th Street in New York. I said, come down and see me. I'm doing a scene from The Great White Hope. You'll see me do something there. No. Come on, please. You see me there. So I was back and forth. They decided to come. They came down. They saw me do the scene. Called me out into the lobby. Afterwards. Meet us at the United Artists Building tomorrow at 8 o'clock. So I go back up. I met them. 4 hours I'm in there. They're going to shoot this film in England, Jamaica, and Boston. It was going to come out for the 1976 bicentennial. Okay? My co-stars were going to be Trevor Howard and John Gielgud. Do you know Trevor Howard and John Gielgud, folks? Yeah. Sir Trevor Howard, Sir John Gielgud, Ken Foree.
Sir Ken Foree.
I guess. After they said you're gonna listen, we really think you're right. You're gonna be the person. All we have to do is get a screen test out in Hollywood, and we're gonna tie up some more of our financials, but we're gonna shoot this thing, and you're gonna go around and advertise it. During 1970, we're gonna bring it out in '76 for the bicentennial. You're gonna advertise. You're gonna be a major star. I'm meeting people from Jamaica coming in the office that are set designers, location managers. I said, oh, wow, this is really going. 2 weeks go, I leave there, I get on the elevator. So you know what happened on the elevator, right? By myself. Oh, just heard this news.
Scream, jump around, yeah.
I'm it, baby. I'm going. I'm a star. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, what the hell are all these people? So I called the office. They said, well, they're not here. They were just using their offices, to see people. I said, would you give them a message to me? They're supposed to get back to me in a couple of weeks. They called me back from California. That year, the tax, they had a change in the tax laws in our country, and half the films that were slated to go in Hollywood bit the dust, along with Christmas Addicts. So now, in this bag, the bag you see me walking in with, I have a 6-hour limited series that I wrote on Christmas Addicts High School in Indianapolis, Indiana, where my family went to school. Not only that, but while I was doing, what's the film? While I was doing Bingo Long Traveling All-Stars and Motor Kings, my grandfather used to take me to a baseball game. My cousin and I, my grandfather used to love to take us to these semi-pro baseball games in Indianapolis. Every year, there was a team that would come in called the Indianapolis Clowns. The Indianapolis Clowns were like Harlem Globetrotters, but they were baseball guys. And they had people that were small, one-armed, that kind of thing, and they did tricks, and they were magnificent. And we would see them every year as a kid. I go to Macon, Georgia for Bingo Long. Guess who's playing the baseball guys? The Indianapolis Clowns. Guess what we're dealing with? The old Negro leagues in the 40s and 30s. My grandfather was from Macon, Georgia. We shot in Macon, Georgia. We shot in Savannah. That's my grandfather, the Indianapolis Clowns, minor league baseball. And I'm on my first film is a baseball film, major Universal production, John Battle, Rob Cohen, the Indianapolis Clowns and me in Macon and Savannah, Georgia. So that ties in some of it. The other is with this script, all of my family went to this high school. I wrote a script, a 6-hour limited series, which now I have to cut into a feature. I had trouble making a treatment for this. I mean, guys, you know anything about scripts? You know about cutting them down? I got 315 pages. I got to cut this down into a treatment, 8 pages. I told them, read the first 25, you will get an idea. It's going to be brilliant. Read the first 25, you'll know. I don't want to write a treatment. Instead, I've already written 315 pages. I don't want to see this thing again until somebody gives me money. So, I wrote the treatment. We just finished a Bible, that's, and synopsis and pictures and a wish list for a cast, all of that. And the producer that I'm dealing with right now, because I kind of put it aside, I sent it around Hollywood to different places, got no bites whatsoever. I had other things to do. I got tired. I got a producer that's from Indianapolis, and he's an actor out in L.A., and he's produced a few. And he said, hey, listen, I just met him. He said, I would like to, let me see this. And so he's gung-ho. So we just went to E1 Entertainment. We're going to go to Steve Spielberg's next. And so he wants now for me to cut down the 315 pages, make it into a feature so that we have the series and the feature if they ask. I'm not looking forward to doing any of that. Right? I'm going to have to, but I'm not looking forward to it. So it's a great piece of work. But like I said, Christmas Addicts with John Gielgud, Christmas Addicts High School that my family went to, the Negro Leagues, Bingo Long, the Indianapolis Clowns. That's enough of that story, all right? A little tired.
I absolutely love that your storytelling here in person, that you get to start at one point and that you wrap it completely around. Yeah. That somewhat comes into effect with your acting career as well, with Dawn of the Dead going, you were the star of the original, and then I'm watching the remake, and there's your face.
Oh, God, yeah, I was, God. I didn't want to do it because the fans were very upset that they were making a remake. And I heard there were death threats, And all of these other things were going on up there. And I said, no, this is something I should pass on. It gets, they offered me the role that they gave to one of the other characters of a deputy sheriff or something. Somebody else had a cameo, I think. And I said, well, the role's gone, so good. I'd like to do this. And my agent said, well, maybe it'd be a good idea to just do a cameo on it. And so we got to the last moment, and my agent said, why don't you do it? I said, okay, I'll do it. So they gave me the picture. I was so bloated. At that point, I'd gained a lot of weight. And they gave me rings, and I wanted rings, but they didn't fit any of my fingers, so they had to cut them in the middle, in the side. So while I'm there, my face is bloated, I'm trying to go, and I couldn't raise my hands. I don't know, I guess as an actor, you have to make adjustments when you're shooting. I've always made adjustments, nothing's ever etched in stone once you get on the set, because things can change immediately. And I'm trying to find a way to not, and several times I'm trying to, oops, my hands, keep your hands down, because I wanted to. So all I remember about that is that I was so bloated. When I saw my face, I said, oh, you look like you weigh 400 pounds. So that's all I remember about that. So go ahead.
I always had to wait.
I know you have a long and illustrious career in all of acting, but horror you keep coming back with, including working with Rob Zombie with Devil's Rejects.
Right.
What can you tell us about that film, working with Rob Zombie, your character, anything?
That's a very, I don't know. Well, that's hard to say anything about Rob Zombie. God, what can I tell you about Rob? Can't tell you anything about Rob, but I got the script. Let me just start from the beginning, because this is kind of I got the script, and it said, Devil's Rejects, Rob Zombie. And so I looked at it, I said, okay, because I'm an R&B guy, I'm a Motown guy. I have no idea, but I like music, and I'm not like most people, most of my friends who I consider narrow-minded and stupid. I like great music. I don't care who does it. I don't care if it's country. I don't care if it's rock. I don't care if it's heavy metal. I don't care if it's classical. I don't care if it's R&B. I don't care what it is. From rockabilly. I don't care. If it's good and I like it, I will find something in each of those categories that I like. I don't see how anyone could not. If you love music, if you love crooners, if you love singers, if you love rhythm, if you love scales, I don't see how you cannot like something in each category. Most of my friends don't, and I know most of you people don't, and I'm not going to try to offend you. I just find it ridiculous. So anyway, 100%. I didn't know Rob. So I grabbed the script, and I said, Zombie? Oh, come on, this is a fan. My agent called about 3 weeks later. Did you read that script? What script? The Rob Zombie script. That's a real person. Really? I said, okay. So I picked up the script, read it. I said, wow, this is pretty wild. I like this. And made an appointment to meet Rob, went down and met him. We talked for about 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Said, yeah, good. Out the door, and that's how I got it.
Wonderful.
That was it. So that's how I got on board. What we did on the set, it was, I'll tell you one scene that you guys might find interesting. There's several, but I'm gonna leave it with this one, and we can move to something else. You know that party scene? All right, we're kicking it. And, you get to a point where you've been shooting all day or something, or you've been shooting for weeks, and you really this is a party, and so we really kind of felt like we're at a party. And so we're dancing, and I'm dancing with Sharon, dancing with E.G. Daly, and, Sid is dancing, and poor Bill's trying to do whatever he can do, which is pathetic. No, it's just, he did the dance. I had trouble with his dancing. A few actors, I'd say, sit down, you shouldn't be up. Just sit down, leave it to someone else, man, clap, just clap. You know? So, oh God. So we looked around, and all of a sudden, during that scene, the entire crew, including Rob, were dancing with us. And I was like, who's running the camera? Who's shooting the scene? He said, oh, the camera's running. We're just partying, man. I said, okay. So that's enough about Rob Zombie and Devil's Rejects. That's it. All right.
For somebody who said that you didn't want to be a part of the remake for Dawn of the Dead, but then you get the Halloween script.
Oh, yeah.
So what made you say, I'm leery about Dawn of the Dead? Was it just because of your role in the original, or did you say yes to the remake of Halloween because you wanted to work with Rob, or?
No. There's a line in Halloween, in that scene, that's only been said by one other actor in the history of film. That, what we have here is a failure to communicate, by Strevis Martin, Cool Hand Luke. Mm-hmm. I saw that, I said, whoa, wait a minute. And then he gets all of his haberdashery from me. And I said, okay, those are two reasons to do this. And strange, here goes another little story about this one. I get the role, and Rob says, he tells me who I'm gonna fight, and how big Tyler is, and that kind of thing, and all that. I say, okay, good. And so I'm working out, right? Getting ready for this fight. And I got crazy, which is something that happens to me very often. I call it my happy times. I get very happy I feel that I'm working out well, I'm getting in shape, and then I do something to injure myself because I go overboard and I hurt myself. Well, I twisted my knee, and I went to the emergency room, and I said, listen, I've hurt my knee. I need you to do something to repair it. And he said, oh, well, we can't repair this. You know, they examined me, said, we can't repair this. This is going to take weeks of you being off. No, you don't understand. I said, I'm going to San Jose for a convention. Then I'm going to shoot this film with a guy, and he's 6'10", and I have to fight him in the bathroom. So I said, you got to fix this knee. And they said, no, we can't fix. No, I said, no, you don't understand. I just told you I'm going to fight this guy. I need this knee. So they called security and they kicked me out of the emergency room. And so I get to the set, and Rob wants me to do. Let me see. I can't do it. Watch me tweak a knee, okay? So Rob wants me to do this. He wants me to come up to the mirror, go do a turn, pivot, and come back and go, something, like that. So I said, he said, Rob says, that's what I want you to do, Ken, can you do it? And he looked at me. This is the strange part about this. He said, you hurt your knee, didn't you? I said, how'd you know? He said, never mind, that's all right. So that was doing that part. I think it would have been more interesting if I could have pivoted and kind of spun on my toes a little bit, but I couldn't spin anything. I was on one leg when Tyler Mane was fighting me, and I took the dive. Go ahead.
You held your own for a while, though.
Took a dive. I'm not going to discuss that any longer. No, just kidding.
We got some other questions.
You got questions back here? Somebody, come on.
Creep Show 2.
Yes, sir.
Not to keep talking about Rob Zombie, but what are some similarities and differences between maybe Romero's directing style and Rob Zombie?
Oh, come on. Totally different.
What?
Totally different. Yeah, and again, you get to realize that directors usually want you to bring something. Okay? So they set up they set up the shots, you have the script, your lines, then bring something to it. And then what you add to. So you don't get, and that's what they're looking for. So I would say both of them were sitting there going, okay, show me something, and that's what you had to do, So the difference between the directing styles, I know what you mean. I don't think there's that much difference. Many directors want you. I mean, I've had directors create a very adversarial relationship with the actors, and so the entire set is tense because they want that. Hitchcock was famous for doing those kind of things. If you ask him the difference between Hitchcock and oh my God, I must be tired. I'm forgetting all the guys in there. Hitchcock and not De Palma. Guy back in the old days. I'm trying to think of his name. He did the Our Gang kind of stuff. He did all that stuff. I can't think of his name. Not Hal Roach. Yeah, Hal Roach did do Our Gang. No, this is my God. How can I love this guy, and I can't think of the name. Let's see. Let me think of something that he did that you guys can wake me up with. He did the Bowery Boys down at the first film with Bogart in it. Bogart played the criminal. Remember that?
Oh.
Huh?
I was just saying, let me tell you something, Elsa.
No, you know what I'm talking about?
I know who I'm.
You know who I'm thinking? Anybody get this idea? Anybody thinking about? Come on, some of you old guys. Some of you guys with gray in your beard.
White than mine. Come on.
Yes.
No. All right. But no, you're talking the difference of directing styles.
Well, I don't think there's not much that I can point out. If I could, I would, but there wasn't a distinct difference between Rob's directing and George Romero's directing. Yeah. Basically, they wanted you to show something.
Houston?
No.
Houston.
John, though.
Cassavetes?
No, not Cassavetes. My God, Cassavetes is so intense.
Yeah.
Cassavetes was so intense. No, this is okay. Mr. Smith goes to Washington. Capra! Thank God we have some minds here. Capra!
You get a hug later.
Yes.
Thank you.
Why did I not think of Capra? He's a genius.
I don't know.
Hey, I love Capra.
It's too early in the morning.
But the difference between the two, Hitchcock and Capra, and how they directed, and how they directed scenes, totally different ball game. But we didn't have that. I didn't have that. There wasn't enough between the two of them that I could give you an answer and show you a difference or a different style between the two as the directors. I think that's with most of the directors I've had. It's usually they want to show you something. All they have is creating an atmosphere on the set. Either they want it light, or they want it, thoughtful, quiet, or they want it just so everybody's walking around not knowing what's going to hit them next. The director going to cuss them out. Everyone's a little tense. And some people create that kind of thing because that's what they want for the film. They want that feeling for the film, and they get it. I think. William
Friedkin in The Exorcist.
Yeah, there you go. Frequently, there's also. Oh my God! There's so many guys, but there was one that did some really great work. And it would be in some of his films. He did Treasure of Sierra Madre.
John Huston.
Houston, yeah. He would create some very strange situations on the set, So, but we didn't have that. I didn't have that with those two guys. I think they were pretty secure in what they wanted to do, and they knew what they wanted, and they didn't have to set that kind of atmosphere for the films they were doing.
Now, as a performer, quite often because of your figure and because of your booming voice, you've been cast quite often as detectives, as cops, as authority figures. Mm-hmm. We've seen a lot of people now playing against type. Is that more what you would like to do as a performer? Do you like being the authority figure? Is that something that you want to keep bringing, or do you want to do the opposite side?
No. Sometimes people get an idea of who you are or what you are, and when they meet you or when they see you in certain films, and they want to pigeonhole you into that concept or that thought. I could very easily be a clown. I could do some very You know, no. It's just something because they look at you and say, oh, 6'5", African American, deep voice, scares people, you know, and they want to put you in that. But no, it's just something that happens with me a lot, and that just happened. I'm able to do that. You know, I guess I had some pretty good people to draw from if I wanted to do that in terms of, you know, using choices. But basically, I can do a lot of other things. You know, I can be mild and weak and meek and
obviously
nice
funny and
person.
personable.
Hello.
That's definitely.
Hi.
I saw some other hands starting to go up.
Come on, guys.
Where were
Ask
they?
me some.
There we
Otherwise,
go.
I could tell you stories.
The poor
and I
gentleman
can tell you a
in the
lot of
second row.
stories. I got some great stuff in here, so let me know. I can fill your heads. Go ahead.
Well, I was just wondering, before you
Yeah.
became a horror icon, I mean, what was any horror that touched you just as a person or a performer?
Gee, I was.
Not even like horror.
No. I was one of those kids who had spent Friday nights watching the local horror station
Nice.
spew out that stuff, and I'd scare my brothers. And after the show was over, we'd make the popcorn, and we eat the popcorn and get scared. And I had one brother that was. He's gone, bless his soul. But he was a thorn in my side all the time when we were kids growing up. And I used to take those opportunities to just scare the hell out of him. You know? Yeah, I got him. You want to hear an interesting story, guys?
Yes.
Since nobody's raising their hands. Oh, you raising your hands now, right? Now you're raising your freaking hand.
We'll get to
I got
you. Hold on.
As soon as I said nobody's raising my hand,
Let
two
him-
guys go up. Ah, wait. You want to
Let
hear
him
my
get the
freaking
story. I'll
Go
remember
ahead.
you two. No, let me get the story. I'll get
Oh
to
no,
them.
this is just about my brother. This is a fun. I guess you'd have to be there to really appreciate it.
Right.
And like I said, I like to hold these things as I like these things relaxed. I like to do what I'd like to do. I like to tell stories I'd like to tell.
That's why
They may span over. There may not be stories about film. They may be stories about films that I've been in. Maybe stories about my life. And this is a life story. And I hope you get this because it's so funny, but you won't get it. But that's all right. That brother of mine had been. You know, you got someone in your family that's always an adjutant and always looking to do something to you. You know what I mean? You've had them. Some of you had those, and this goes on throughout our years. You know. So one day, my grandmother and grandfather had a place outside of Indianapolis, but just on the borderline. And they had a little garden and a little chicken pen and duck pen and that kind of thing. In fact, they had some property, so it was a little, you know, they had a little room to do this stuff. And so my brother and I were out there, and we saw this crow. And the crow was injured for some reason, and it was outside of the chicken pen, you know, on the outside of the pen. And I said, "Oh my God, look at that!" I said, "I put a little noose around his neck, you know, nothing to hurt him, and a string, and I was gonna put him up in the chicken pen until he got. I don't know what I was thinking. Put him in the chicken pen until he healed. So I throw the little crow over in the pen. We had this big rooster we call Big John. Big John stood, I kid you not, his head was this high. And you come up there, you were scared to death to get near this fucking rooster. He looked like an ostrich. That's how big this fucker was. All right? So John came up and ripped his head off. So I pulled back, and I got the head and the thing, oh God. And I said, wait a minute.
No.
I put it in my pocket. We went upstairs to go to bed that night. My brother was sleeping in the bed next to the double beds. He had a bed here. So I went up a little early. I took the head, put it under his blanket.
Oh no!
Hold it. My grandmother's stairs. Now this is the funny part. My grandmother's stairs are like this. Very short, so they were steep and steep, and we were upstairs. And so if you would go down, you had to watch your step because they were very close together. So he comes up. I'm laying in bed, feigning sleep. He gets in, and he goes, What is this? He opens the things and he runs out. He hits the stairs, but he misses. Oh. And his ass hits the stairs, and he bounces all the way down the stairs. I grabbed the damn head, threw it out the window, got back in bed. Mom came up. What are you doing? What? What Barry say? I have no idea why he's like this. Funny story, all right? Funny story. Hey.
I'm so glad you told me that. Thank you.
See,
I saw the gray shirt in the back.
Go ahead, man. As you see, guys, I'm going to go all over the place. I got some stories I want to tell you before we get out of here. Go ahead, man.
Freddy versus Jason shirt. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
I'm a film student in San Francisco.
Yes.
Pursuing directing. And what's the best way to direct talent without overstepping your bounds as a director?
Oh, gee. You have to. You have to know who you're dealing with and what personalities you're dealing with and how to approach them. Some people you may have to guide. Some people you may have to push a little bit, you know? Some people you may have to, you don't want to give a line reading to anyone. That's an insult. But still, you may have to try to get something out of a person and you don't know how to approach them because you don't know what his sensitivities are, you know, where it becomes I've heard, directors given a direction to a young person and a young person will say, I don't think that's where I want to go. So you have to be able to understand the personality of the person you're dealing with and where you can go with it. Do you have to be a little more authoritative? Do you have to draw it out for them and in a very calm and a very gentle, approachable way? Can you just, come over here, let me talk to you. What do you think? Do you make it a collaboration, that they can work with? Or do you have to fire them up and say, give me something? I don't like what you're doing. Come on, man. Sometimes you have to do that, and you have to know who you can do that with. So it's always like reading anyone else that you're dealing with in the audience that's sitting there. Some people you can yell at, some people you can talk gently to, some people you can reason with, but you've got to be able to make that distinction between the people you're working with. You've got to get a feel from them and get a feel from them right away as to what approach works best to get the result that you need without blowing the whole thing up by, not getting what you want and then having somebody that's going to be, angry or not cooperative through the entire shoot. Okay?
I'm going to get Iron Man's question there.
Yes, sir.
Just wanted to get your thoughts on the Dawn of the Dead remake.
I thought it was a very good horror film. I thought it was well done. I mean, some of the shots, it's 2006, was it? 2006, 2005, somewhere around
7, I think.
2007? Okay, so that was, the difference. It's 1978, 2000, 2007. Come on. The CGI, all that stuff is in there at that point. We didn't have that. There's a much larger budget. They had something to draw from. We had nothing except Night of the Living Dead. So I thought it was a good horror film. I thought it was well acted. I thought it was had a great look. I love the shots that Hitchcockian shot of the bus leaving the mall. I love the shot and all the zombies surrounded it. I like the shot when they were. There was another shot, I think, of an ambulance coming or something like that, and there was another shot, crane shot, that was just great. I thought the cinematography was fantastic. I thought the acting was good as well. I don't know if they cared very, huh?
It's a different film.
It is a different film. It is a different film. It was. I think they extracted a lot of things from ours and used it, but I think it was a different film. Yeah.
I know I
enjoyed
personally
it. Yeah.
can hear you talk for hours. I love hearing your storytelling. I'm gonna be going back to your booth so I can hear more. All of these people seem to be enjoying quite a lot, but unfortunately, I do have to wrap it up.
We're wrapping it up.
You did
I
not.
haven't finished. I had one story to give you. We're wrapping it up. I had one great one. But since we're giving up,
Wait, we need to get out of here. We got time for one more? All right, let's do it. Come on, give us.
one more story. Okay. All right. Which one is going to be short? Okay. I'm trying to think of something that's really good for you guys.
Antics on the set.
You've given us a history lesson. You've given us some family stories. You've given us some set stuff.
I'll leave it with this because I really hate taking up somebody else's time, but I'm gonna leave you with this. Have you ever? And this is kind of an X-rated thing. Have you ever been on? What I mean by on. And if you haven't, it's okay. But have you ever been to a point where everything you do that day, that week, that month is golden? It works. You get help here. You get a kind word from this side. You get something that you're working on all of a sudden is in reality. You know, anything that could happen to you that's good happens to you during that period of time. Anybody ever have that happen?
Yeah,
You had that happen?
a couple times.
Okay, you did a couple people? Three? Yeah.
Rare.
Turn off that camera.
Uh-oh.
You're not going to record this. Turn it off.
Uh-oh.
Turn it off. I can't be.